imagine how good Tony would be if he got a little emotional. The liberals are asking us to give President Obama time. We agree and think 25 to life would be appropriate. Again, I know that's awful. He is the President of the United States. My next speaker, Marilyn Parker, she came to our first Tea Party, gave an excellent speech. Marilyn is one of the founding members of the Louisville Grassroots Tea Party. During that Tea Party, which was on April 15th, she gave a rousing speech. The liberal columnist Howard Feynman was in attendance and told Marilyn it was one of the best political speeches he'd ever heard. And that's coming from Howard Feynman, and that means a lot. But anyway, I'm proud to introduce Miss Marilyn Parker. She's from Louisville. Give her a rousing round of applause.
I had two outfits picked out today, and I think I picked the wrong one. Patriots, I'm so happy to be here again. It's time to save America. Issues will come and go. Candidates will come and go. Political parties will come and go. But ideologies last for centuries. Conservatism is a time-tested ideology that protects faith, family, freedom, fiscal responsibility, and our national sovereignty. Liberalism is a destructive ideology that at first glance sounds pretty, but when given power and put into practice, results in runaway government that our country can no longer afford. 200 years ago, the Republican Party was the Tea Party. They were farmers, laborers, small business owners. They rallied against slavery and over-intrusive governments. They called the Democrats the Slavocrats. Today, liberal progressive policy has fostered over 3 generations of slaves. Slaves to big government, entitlements, and burdensome taxes. Remember, it is always liberal agenda that government knows more than you do. You need them through massive government programs to take care of you so that you will in turn vote for them and keep them in power. They want to make you dependent under the guise of helping you. For 4 decades, liberal ideology has been very busy planning the takeover of our country, tripling the size of government. It wants to control how much you earn, where you work, what size home you own, where you build that home, what kind of energy you use to heat your home, what kind of car you drive, what fuel you use, which businesses succeed, which ones fail, if you own a gun or not, where you send your children to school, what liberal rewrite of history they are taught, dictate where their student loans are paid to. 2 mommies are okay. If your daughter has an abortion at taxpayers' expense, what kind of health care you're mandated, what kind of food you eat, where that food comes from, redefine what marriage is, decide where we can pray, what religions are politically correct, remove all reference of God from our heritage, make U.S. policy subject to the approval of the United Nations from countries that don't like us. While we are told we are no longer a Christian nation by our president, and it's all Bush's fault. Secular liberal elitists are taught at liberal institutions like Harvard, Yale, and Berkeley that Karl Marx, Saul Alinsky, and Cloward Piven methodology to spread the wealth, even the score, and marginalize their enemy being you, is the way to gain control of the country. For decades, they were taught to take over health care, bring down the banking industry, rise the unions to power, infiltrate our education institutions, and indoctrinate our youth. Well, they pretty much succeeded, and our complacency has led them. In the booming 90s, times were good and America was complacent. Little did we know what was lurking underneath. Social engineering in the housing industry. Everyone has a right to own a home, cried the little-minded liberals. So they lobbied Congress to pressure the banks to give out loans to low-income, no-income, high-risk borrowers. They wanted the liberals' own private piggy bank, Fannie and Freddie, to back them up. And they did. This socialist agenda almost toppled the banks, which brought us TARP. Bush asked Congress 17 times, started in 2001, to stop it. So did John McCain, so did Senator Hagel. January 3rd, 2007, Barney Frank took over the House Financial Services. He told us everything was fine. Christopher Dodd took over the Senate Banking Committee. 15 months later, we had record foreclosures and collapsed lending. And who took the third highest payoff from Fannie and Freddie? Barack Obama. And who fought against financial reform of Fannie and Freddie? The Democrats. President Obama inherited his own failed liberal ideology, liberal corruption, and liberal policy. This is not Bush's fault, and TARP is labeled Bush's debt. $350 billion of TARP was spent when Obama took over. When it was evident that it was only padding the books of the banks and not freeing up lending, our new president and